Hey, hey Beth, this is Dan. How are you? So let's get started with your reading. I have the two decks here, and we're just going to sort of look at what's going on. We're first going to start here with the Crow Tarot. In your center, we have the Page of Cups. I like this card. It feels, I'll say this, the shuffle felt very light and easy. So I'm hoping that things are positive and upbeat for you right now, or feeling very easy. I don't know. I got a very nice feeling from the shuffle. It didn't feel heavy or struggly or anything like that. It felt very smooth and easy. So I'm hoping that's the case. When we have the Page of Cups here, in our center, pages obviously represent that youthful aspect, and cups is the aspect of our emotions. There's a magical thinking. There's a thinking outside of the box. There's a ability to see through the veil with the Page of Cups. There is a spiritual connectivity through the emotions and the well-being that the Page of Cups often represents. There is a little bit of like childishness or daydreaminess to the Page of Cups, but I feel like, to me, this feels very positive and uplifting. It's hopefully a release, or there's an optimism that comes, especially with the Page of Cups over all of the other pages. I feel like he would be the most optimistic, the most hopeful, the most shifting our perceptions towards, I don't know how, but it's going to, kind of thing, right? It's that sort of can do attitude that the Page of Cups has, that is your center right now. And so this being here in the center says to me that, okay, she's working with not only her emotions, but her spirit too, to learn how to sort of expand, to see things differently, to experience things differently, with more joy, with more optimism, with more magic in a way, right? So I like that as your center, and it kind of opens the door for a lot of what I think my feeling is maybe unforeseen blessings or opportunities that even you might not even know that you're creating, only because the Page of Cups can be a wild card in such a good way, right? Like, wild card isn't even the right word for him, but that's the best way the quickest way that I can describe it is, it's sort of like he is so magical that God knows what kind of rabbit he'll pull out of his hat. So let's see what the foundation card is. This is from the past. So this is the Death card. This is Scorpio energy. Also, I should say that the Page of Cups would be, obviously water energy. So we're talking Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. And then we see more water here in the Death card. The Death card is about transformation. It is about sort of maybe a long rest or a disconnection from things, especially when I look at this crow down here in this state of sort of, to me, what appears to be rest. We see his skeletal system, and to me that's like resting down to the very core of who we are, maybe disconnecting from the world, and that would be the Death. But he's rising up again. So death is never like a complete ending. It may be an ending to something major in our life, or a change that had to take place in the past that allows us to open up and feel the renewal of the Page of Cups in the now, right? I will say this being in this position says that this is driving you. This is major arcana energy. So there's some sort of, I would say, heavy things from the past, heavy transformations, heavy experiences from the past that may be driving you. But I feel like they're driving you towards this phoenix from the flame kind of moment, this sort of new beginning, or this arrival to an awareness or an understanding that opens you up to maybe aspects of yourself, your own mind, your own spirit, or emotions that you maybe didn't necessarily feel as though you had access to in the past. You might have felt a little bit like, I don't know, burdened or limited. Death can certainly be a form of upheaval when you were in it, but now, like in a sort of hindsight is 2020 kind of place, looking back on it now, there's an optimism with the Page of Cups that says to me, you very well may have had to go through whatever hardships it was in the past to ultimately sort of transform yourself. Now, this being down here speaks to the idea that there could be the possibility for more intense transformation coming up. And I just want to like point that out because this is a position of not only is it from the past, but it is the memory of this that can be driving things into the future, or this is sort of like the catalyst card of what kind of pushes everything along. So this could potentially be pushing us towards further experience of transformation. So be aware of that. We're going to look at the rest of the cards and see if that's as important as it could be. But right now, I just want to call that out. Let's go to the higher self card and see what that is. This is where your higher self or spirit is at in all of this. So we've got the King of Cups. Okay, this is quite a bit of water running through the center of this reading. I'm going to say that right out of the gate. We've got the King of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Death card, which represents a Scorpio, right? So that's definitely water. This is highly psychic too. This is like the other side. And when I said that with him too, the ability to see through the veil, we see this moon up here too in the higher self. The King of Cups is your highest emotional self. And when this is sort of showing up here in your higher self card's position, to me it says that you kind of emotionally, you have more answers than I think maybe you give yourself credit for. And that may be partly due to some of the experiences that you've had in your life in the past. This is the Death card. But it's like through those experiences, we're learning to trust ourselves. And there's something very positive, very emotionally connected within you, a compassion that's within you at a higher level that wants you to sort of acknowledge it, bring that down. And I feel like this guy up here, this king, could be what's sort of creating this space for you in the like sort of more mind-centered or egoic present time space to experience this Page of Cups, right? Where we might be, I don't know why, but I almost want to say like this guy's kind of teaching the Page of Cups to open up his mind, his heart, his emotions, so that this can flood through from the higher self. And that might be the transformation that's taking place, or that we need to maybe feel through the past upheavals and things like that, or we have felt through them to a degree, because these are both very positive cards emotionally. So I feel like the cards are trying to tell you that the work that's been put in emotionally, the experiences that you maybe had that have been hard in the past, they've served a purpose. And now would be the time to sort of begin to acknowledge that and live in that, relish in it even. Really understand it and own it as to how it feels to you. So let's go to the outside influences and see what's going on there. So we have the Queen of Wands. This could be a female. This could be somebody of the fire sign variety. So we're talking Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. I think the Queen of Wands tends to be sort of more Leo, I believe, Leonine energy. But regardless, it will be somebody that's sort of direct, swift, clear on what they want, very sort of loving, caring, nurturing, strong in their opinions. I'm just trying to see. I feel like she wants to help you towards a better future, if that makes any sense. And the reason why I say that is I feel like she's saying that like her head here is tilted in this direction, like looking to the future, like she's saying, come with me, I'll show you the way. She can sense that she's also, Wands is very much the element of the spirit. She can sense this King of Cups up here in your higher self. She understands the value or the worth that you have within you. If this is not an actual person outside of yourself, this could be just situational, right? Or the environment around you, providing you the opportunity to sort of bestow upon you the love, the warmth, the blessings that the Queen of Wands wants to bring you. Remember, queens are also that cups and aspect. So we still have cups all through here. So these cups that are this, at least these two cups, and the wateriness of this death transformation card are going to speak to the Queen of Wands. It's almost like I feel like this energy has called her in. So whether she's an actual separate person outside of you or situations outside of you or just a general energy, she's here to sort of show you how to grow, how to expand, how to bask in, sort of her light in a way, in her awareness, in her ability to connect to maybe the other side, and to find strength in that. Let's look at the other outside influence. We have the Hanged Man. So this is Piscean energy. A lot of water. Hanged Man is about spiritual awareness through adversity, in a way, feeling stuck or trapped maybe, until we sort of figure out that we can release ourselves once we have gained the information that we need. This is Major Arcana. You have some pretty heady cards here, to be honest, just without the clarifiers. It's all court cards and Major Arcana. So I will say that. And it's all predominantly water, with the exception of the Queen of Wands, which is interesting to me. But I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Sometimes I would say be careful of one's emotions at this time. But where these things are placed, I feel like they're actually really good. The Hanged Man, to me, offers me a little bit of pause in the sense that, there could be things going on in your life where you feel, and this would be going on around you or outside of you, where you're not feeling like you're moving fast enough, or things aren't moving to a schedule that makes sense to you. Or you may not be moving quickly enough, maybe even for this Queen of Wands, if there is an outside source, somebody that's telling you, come on, you need to do it this way, you need to do it that way, follow me, da 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 da, and you're like, no, you might be a little bit reluctant. You might not want to come out of your shell. I mean, we see some of that shell action happening here, because to me this is almost like meditative in a way, even though it represents death. I feel like this is him resting at a very deep level. So I feel like pulling that information in and then making those changes and rising above, like coming out of that into this optimism. We may be reluctant to want to make too many big changes as we sort of navigate the newness and the optimism of this Page of Cups. If you are feeling stuck anywhere, there's always this sort of caveat with the Hanged Man where it will pass. Like, you just have to be there in the moment and be present in the moment so that you can gain the information that you need, whatever that may be. There's usually a big enlightenment that comes with the Hanged Man that allows you to move on. I mean, that's obviously symbolized in the flowers here and stuff, the new blooms. So new perceptions, new realizations, things like that may come after a period of waiting, or having to be patient, having to sit in things that maybe haven't always felt comfortable. You might still be experiencing some of that, even though I feel like this Page of Cups and the King of Cups feel like, no, we're in a different place. We want to be somewhere else. We don't want to deal with this anymore. But there might be some of that influence going on. It could be from things of the past. I do feel like there's a breaking free that's taking place in this time for you. That's the breaking free is this Page of Cups. It's the optimism and the outside of the box thinking that he has. It feels like you're in that process right now. So let's see what's going on with this Page of Cups. Let's clarify. So on the Page of Cups, we have the Five of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles. So I feel like the Five of Swords might be the reality. I kind of get this feeling because it's interesting. We have the Two of Pentacles has color, the Queen of Pentacles has color, the Two of Swords has no color at all. And the no color is making me feel like, sorry, I'm trying to grab these cards and they're not working. I'm going to take you back here and show you what I'm looking at here. All right, so the Five of Swords usually indicates competition, things going wrong, attitudes, fighting, it can be, right? This, to me, feels like the past. And I say that only because the card is black and white. And for some reason, there's so much color in these other cards and this card here that I feel like there might be something that either not haunts us, but that we're trying to separate from, that we're trying to move away from through being this Page of Cups, through keeping this optimism or this open thought, right? This idea of, okay, what's next? And not kind of trying to get dragged down into the past. I also love that this worm is being cut in half, right? And to me, the worms can still live even when they've been cut in half. They can kind of sort of regrow and regenerate, and then you have two worms. And so to me, it feels like the past has not beat you. That's also the feeling that I'm getting with this Page of Cups being here. I feel like all of that is in pursuit of maybe potentially becoming this Queen of Pentacles. And I don't know if this has to do a little bit with like what we've been seeing in the weeklies, but this reminds me of the Remember Stone that we've been looking at. I feel like this Queen of Pentacles might very well be you, right? In the sense of this is you at your highest form, that sort of nurturing, loving, grounded, connected to the earth, ability to create, but still having that queen aspect to it, right? Which is that cups energy that we see going on here, all of this emotional water energy, not putting any of this to waste or denying it. We bring it here and we bring it to this state of real sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Balance, right? And then as I say balance, I think, oh, here we go. We have the Two of Pentacles. And this Two of Pentacles is also the transformation of the butterfly, right? And so it's like realizing our beauty, our grace, and maintaining that, right? Deepening that relationship and grounding it into the real physical world in our perceptions about it, right? And that's this sort of infinity symbol that's going on here. So I think that in essence, we're releasing some of the arguments of the past, resentments, or whatever that's gone on within us or with others, in an effort to get to this state of the Queen of Pentacles and ultimately deepen that relationship with ourselves, that realization of who we are, and allow that to kind of bloom and come into balance. Okay, so that's sort of what I'm getting from those. Let's go to the Death card. So for the Death card, we have the Mother of Wands, so that would be Queen of Wands energy here. We have the Father, the King of Pentacles. And we have the Justice card. I don't know why. I'm just going to spit this out here. I feel like something was taken from you. In the past. It feels to me like something was taken from you. I'm not sure. The thing that's throwing me off slightly is this Mother of Wands, or the Queen of Wands, and then the Queen of Wands here. I want to make sure that this woman is a benefit to you and not connected to this woman in the past. It's a possibility that they could be connected. The Father of Pentacles feels like, I don't know, it's funny, but this person feels to me, this potentially could be a person. It obviously would be a male earth sign, or could be a male earth sign, but it feels like they're very much in sync with who you truly are. I don't know if this person stood in the way of you having a relationship with this person. That's almost the feeling that I'm getting. I'm feeling like this person was taken away from you, or removed from you. And then we have this Justice card here, like underneath all of this, there's some sort of truth or balance that needs to take place. Oh, sorry, it's not all in the frame. I just realized that as I looked at the computer. This Justice here, and then again, we see that balance in the Justice card of the black cat and the white cat, and similar to the Father and Mother of Pentacles, right? I wonder, I don't know if this is something, I don't want to go back to, oh, this is about your mother, but I'm wondering, because we have these two Queen of Wands here, and I know that I believe, if I remember correctly, your mother's passed on, but Um, I don't know if she's like her memory is still influencing you in some way, and I don't know if there's some sort of issue between your relationship with your father and her standing in between that. But I kind of get a feeling that that's sort of what I'm looking at here, and I feel like your father or whoever this male may be, this sort of figure, whatever this connection was, it was very much in line and in sync. Not that the king and queen or the mother and father are partnered together, but like the dialogue is the same, the communication is the same. There's a special bond between them. This mother of wands may have been threatened by that. And I don't know if justice has been served here or if justice was needed. With the black and white nature of this justice card, it almost feels like it necessarily is still waiting to happen. We go to the King of Cups. On the King of Cups, we have the Tower, total upheaval, Temperance, which would be about maintaining balance, and the Eight of Pentacles. It's really weird to me because this positioning here, this sort of run here, I get a distinct impression here and I get a distinct impression here, so I'm just going to share it. I kind of feel like there's something that this King of Cups wants you to sort of tear up. Tower is upheaval. Tower is things falling apart. Tower is, but see, next to Temperance and the Eight of Pentacles, to me, those are, Temperance is about maintaining that balance, that grace, sort of staying grounded in both, our emotions and our, like, our emotions and the reality of what's going on around us, right? Being graceful, not necessarily saying everything we have to say or we think, choosing the like sort of lighter, softer path. But the Tower says to me, like, no, it's like we need that upheaval. And once we have that sort of upheaval, or as we're in that upheaval, we then get to practice sort of the grace of this Temperance card. We get to sort of put our nose to the grindstone and utilize the intricacy of this web that this sort of spider has created, right? This is the Eight of Pentacles is kind of like putting in the work, doing the details, putting our nose to the grindstone, paying focus and like homage to kind of what we need to do to get done, to clear things out of our way. And that's sort of the feeling that I get from that Tower card. It's interesting that it sits up there because I feel like this is sitting up here connected to this Death card. It's almost like I want to say like, or I want to ask you, like, do you only learn through, and I'm not saying this like this is the only way you learn, but do you learn your biggest lessons through the greatest hardship? Because I feel like that's kind of like the message that's coming through in these two cards. It's almost like down here in the past, we've suffered losses and things like that, and maybe not even received the justice that we deserve. But in doing so, it's brought us to this state where we're starting to separate ourselves from the things that no longer serve us, from the fights, the arguments, and the machinations of the brain that no longer get in our way. To continue to remove ourselves from this, to arrive at this sort of Queen of Pentacles space, and to maintain the balance and to have the beauty of this sort of butterfly, we need to sort of have this upheaval happen from within, right? There's sort of Tower moments are usually inevitable, right? We can put them off, but they're going to come. right? We can procrastinate, we can pay no attention to it and pretend it's not there, but sooner or later it's gonna rear its head. And when it rears its head, I think that ultimately it's for your benefit because it does push you into this state of temperance, into this state of the Eight of Pentacles, where you start to realize. And I don't think that the Tower is a bad card. I feel like it's self induced. Like, I almost want to ask, where is it that you need to sort of tear down, right? Disassemble. What is built on faulty foundations? Because that's sort of where you need to look to remove those things. Let's see this Queen of Wands. And then go about getting into that state of temperance and then beginning to rebuild with that Eight of Pentacles. The King of Cups to me is a very loving, kind, nurturing, sort of masculine protector card, right? So he's going to sort of, that aspect of yourself is going to guide you, bring you through this process, and you can trust it, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Let's look at the Queen of Wands. We have the Fool, which is like new beginnings. We have Judgment, which is Scorpio energy, which is sort of answering the call. And we have the Five of Pentacles. I do think that these Queen of Wands and the Mother of Wands are connected. I'm going to show you part of the reason why right now. I feel like, see how she's covering these eggs? She's blocking them or protecting them. I feel like she's maybe hiding something from you from the past, not allowing you to sort of have access to this Father of Pentacles. And that justice maybe wasn't necessarily served back then. These eggs, I feel like, have grown into this chick that we see here on the Fool card, which is endings and new beginnings, right? And so when I think of this here, it's interesting to me. Also, with your mother being passed, this Judgment card plus the dead rose make me think of funerals. This light, the darkness, the light, the dove here, it makes me think of that sort of other side, and that's not necessarily, I mean, there's usually an angel in the Judgment card, which can make you feel that way too. There's sort of these zombies laying on the bottom, or what I perceive as zombies in a traditional Judgment card. So it can be about that too. But with this Five of Pentacles and the way that this flower is, this feels to me like an apology. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I feel like these cards are trying to tell me that there's an apology here, maybe potentially coming from this Queen of Wands, who in the past maybe smothered you or didn't allow you to have certain things, was not fair to you, did not treat you right. I feel this serious sense of sorrow in this rose. The Five of Pentacles is usually a setback of some sort, or it's that picture of the family in the snow walking across in front of a church, right? And they're moving on to something different or better. But to me, this really feels like an apology. It's really strange. It's almost like, I feel like this card, this Queen of Wands, might be asking for a new beginning. I feel like this card here, the Judgment, is like sort of this acknowledgement of, hi, I'm here on the other side in spirit. And I feel like this is sort of an offering. Like, I almost feel like Spirit is handing the rose over saying, I'm so very sorry. That's kind of the feeling that I get. Let's go to this Hanged Man. That's weird. I'm sorry, Beth. I hope this makes sense, and I hope I'm not treading on anything that I shouldn't be. It's interesting too, to me. I'm just looking at different weird parallels or things that jump out. And as I'm looking at these antlers and then looking at this rainbow through the Two of Pentacles, it's almost like the father and mother, that we're sort of connected, right? That maybe we're not allowed to be connected in the past for whatever reasons. Justice maybe was not served at that time. It's like in this space here, there may still be that connection. I don't know if your father is still around. He may not be. I'm not sure, but and maybe I'm just taking father too literally, but it's funny because I feel like these two are actually maybe in communication in this infinity symbol. It's sort of the rainbows of his horns and the fact that these two connect and communicate in that language of pentacles. All right, let's see what's going on with the Hanged Man. We have the Four of Swords, which is about introspection. We're talking about spiritual awakening through introspection. That's definitely the Hanged Man in very massive terms. This is a smaller version of that, but we have the gentleness of this lamb. His third eye is wide open. He's going inward, and sort of Four of Swords would indicate trusting one's own information over that of anybody else's during this time. We have the High Priestess. This would be all about secrets. Again, Piscean energy with Piscean energy. This is about trusting one's emotions and intuition over everything. The messages may not always be easy to decipher. Whatever you're dealing with right now, or whatever I don't necessarily know that you're dealing with, how do I want to say this? I kind of feel like as I'm looking at this whole reading, right, it feels like there's some stuff that you have known was off or bad or wrong or painful, whatever, from the past, but there's still more stuff that it's like kind of up to you to dig it up. It's up to you to sort of set it on fire in a way. That you will be fine if you do, and you have the wherewithal, the strength, and all of that to do all of that. But it may feel a bit counterproductive, or like I feel like this High Priestess, she's here in your favor, right? She's here to have you trust your sort of more spiritual information, but that information might be telling you, look, we need to tear this house to the ground. And you're like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. And that would be sort of the confusion that the High Priestess can bring. And when I mean the idea of house metaphorically, right? I think you get that. But, and that's why we have so much like hesitation here during this time and need for reflection, so that we're really clear on what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then we have the Nine of Wands. Interesting, we have two moons here. This to me is usually about, I like the design of this because it looks like a stairway up to our own intuition. Wands being that element of fire, taking action, desire, moving towards that, having come to a completion or an understanding. So whatever is holding us back, or whatever it is that we are contemplating during this time that we might be getting confused about or not clear signals on, as we delve deeper and get more into trusting ourselves, we will find the answers to that. We will be able to open those doors. We will be sort of able to connect to that and go after whatever it is that we want. We will end this sort of chapter that we've been in and move on to what is new, what is next. For the outcome for all of this, this reading feels very like ephemeral. I don't know if it's these two decks together. Your outcome is the Two of Wands. Two of Wands would indicate a stage of planning. It would indicate, it's interesting to me because it also indicates, sometimes twos can indicate relationships to me, right? Or things, people, relationships coming together, a deeper understanding of maybe who we are, a deeper appreciation of others. A shift in our perception of where we fit in our world. A better understanding of where we want to be in our world. And the beginning stages of planning for that, or taking the steps towards that. We have the Two of Swords on the Two of Wands. This is usually about sort of, it can be about indecision. It can definitely represent as a no, but I think it's sort of interesting that we have the 2 and the 2. So let's just see where this is going. We have the Ace of Cups, and I believe the Ace of Cups came up here in the last reading for you in this clarifying of an outcome. And we have the 2 of Cups. Okay, so we have 2, 2, 2. This is about, I'm going to just go out there on a limb and say this. I feel like this is about healing the relationship with your mother, even from beyond the grave. And in doing so, you heal your relationship to yourself. I'm going to say this. I hope it's not treading on anything too personal or too weird and vague. I do get this feeling that she, if I remember correctly, if she is passed on, she is on the other side here, willing to play. She is still an influence. She still wants to be around. She still is sort of maybe sending you messages. She wants a new beginning, or she wants that sort of understanding. I think that you have gotten beyond whatever has gone on in the past, but there's still something going on here that, like, justice needs to be served. But again, even in this justice card, we see these 2 cats, and we see all of these 2s as the outcome. When I flip this 2 of Wands, these 2 crows back to back like that made me feel like it's you and your mother. Like that you guys are sort of reconnecting at a spiritual level. You're doing that and then connecting at the mental level. And this normally would be like a blocked crossing or no, but I get a feeling like if we look at this is across 2 different decks, but look at the imagery. This is a wand card, right? We have that planet up atop the 2 wands. And then over here we have an eclipse of the sort of sun in this 2 of swords, which to me it's very similar imagery. It's like our spirit and our mind coming together, which ultimately releases this sort of the bliss and the abundance of the Ace of Cups, which is your own well-being first and foremost, but also the well-being or maybe the new beginning, the new emotional beginning around this relationship with your mom, even though she may not be still in a physical body. And then we have the 2 of Cups, which is the embrace of that, the love of that, the connectivity of that. And it looks to me like this rose, oh my God, I just noticed that too. This rose that's over here in the Pentacles, that is this sort of sad offering of I'm sorry, comes back to life again, and so does your own. Do you see that? Or am I crazy? This is about trusting sort of yourself, which you certainly can. I feel like with all of these cards, you have some very powerful cards here. And emotionally, the work that you're doing is the right work. It feels like it's on the right path. You're trying to separate away from things of the past that no longer serve you or that have limited you. And you're still doing that. But all of this death transformation card and all of this stuff down here, this is some pretty heady cards down here. They're sort of pushing all of this. Even though they're from the past, they're kind of pushing all of this forward or prompting you to remove yourself from these things, these behaviors, these thoughts, whatever that might cause controversy in your life or might have caused controversy in your life. No longer will they be allowed to. In an effort to really be free of them, you have to experience this tower almost at your own hand, is the feeling. Like I feel like this king is asking for this to happen. If it's not already happening, you might be in the process of it now. Allow it to happen. Step into this sort of state of grace, of temperance. We see the fire in the tree, we see the fire in the grace of temperance, right? So it's like even though things can be feeling like they're being torn apart or dismantled or taken apart, they will be rebuilt in a much more peaceful and kind manner, and you can do it from your own sort of ability, your own attention. Does that make sense? This is a really strangely powerful outcome. Even if this relationship, let's say this outcome is like just you with yourself, we're talking about coming into alignment in a depth of realization or understanding with your spiritual self, your mental self, and your emotional self. But I also feel like this could be you in your relationship or how you relate to your mom at this time. I don't want to make everything about your mom because I kind of feel like the last reading might have brought your mom into, but maybe she's trying to reach you through these cards. I certainly feel like this rose gets life again. I hope that makes sense. You're going to have to let me know. I'm going to send this over to you, and that's what I see. And if anything means something different to you, you certainly can take it and utilize it in whatever way you see fit. You don't have to go by my definitions of these things, but that's kind of what I sort of sense, or kind of the feeling that I get from these cards. It's all good stuff, though, and the outcome is going to be amazing. All right, I will talk to you soon. All right, thank you so much for buying this reading. Take care.